K5 fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps, and I'm joined with none other than Carl Frampton. Carl, congratulations on your successful defeat against Nonito Donaire. Let's talk a bit about that. How did it feel to know that now you've lined yourself up for a world title shot?
It felt great. I knew that I was performing well in the gym. I knew that people have written me off, so it was good to show people. I personally think it was probably the second best performance of my career. It was certainly the most disciplined anyway, and I'm back. I've still got a lot to give in this game, and people now know that.
Now, we know that Oscar Valdez is not going to be ready in time for a summer clash because he's still healing from his jaw injury, but we do have Lee Selby or Josh Warrington, Warrington is actually here today. Who would you prefer to fight if you could make it happen?
I think out of the three you mentioned, I'd say the Valdez fight, but I know that's not going to happen. Well, it looks like it at the minute because of the jaw. Certainly not going to happen next, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me. It just whoever comes through the Selby or Warrington fight is going to be the deserved champion. So I'd be happy to fight the best man on that night. I'd be happy to fight them.
Who do you predict's going to win that one?
If I'm being honest, I think I'm edging towards Selby. If you had asked me a year ago, I'd have said it would have been Selby more comfortably. But I think that with the home crowd, and I think that Selby's, I think he's struggling with the weight now. I think that Josh is fit, he's gritty, he's determined, and I think with the support behind him, he makes the fight closer than I would have even said myself about a year ago. But I'm still edging toward Lee.
Carl, I'm always curious to ask boxers what made them want to get into boxing. It's a very rough, tough sport. It's not exactly, and I say this not being insulting at all, but it does take a bit of a crazy person to want to do that for a living.
Well, I suppose it does. I don't know. When I was a kid and I started boxing very young. I was only 7, and it was curiosity more than anything. I'm not from a big boxing family, and the local club was a 2-minute walk from my front door, and I just wanted to try it out, and I fell in love with it. You know, it's a bit of a cliche, and people say it all the time, but I just fell in love with boxing straight away. I was a quiet kid, and would have been, I was timid, and and people would have maybe pushed me about the street a little bit, but when I was boxing, I was beaten up. The loudmouths, and maybe that's what drew me to it. I just loved it.
Do you think it was a bit inspired by the fact that maybe you felt you were being bullied sometimes?
Yeah, well, I suppose I wouldn't say bullied. I suppose it's just growing up in a normal housing estate. I don't want to say that I was bullied because I wasn't, but there's always little things, and kids pick on each other, and it's just part of growing up, isn't it? But I was a quiet kid, and I would have shied away from a bit of confrontation. But when I was in the ring sparring, I felt good because it was better than the people who might have been the loudmouths in the street.
Would you let your children box?
I would let them, yes. I'm not gonna push them into it. I'm sure they'll ask at some point. I have a little boy and a little girl. I'm pretty sure that both of them will want to do it at some point. And I'll let them have a go. But I know how hard a game it is. It's been very good to me, boxing, but I know how hard it is, and it's not a sport that I would push them into.
Carl, what do you think you would be doing right now if you weren't a boxer? What professional field would you have wanted to go into?
I have no clue. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of put all my eggs in one basket. And
you don't have a passion for something. Like, for example, I joke and say that if I probably wasn't in this field, I would enjoy either being a storm chaser, no joke, or a paranormal investigator.
Right. See, I've never really thought about it. Storm chasing sounds good. I don't know. Do you know what? It sounds pretty boring, but I'd probably just been in the building trade, a joiner, a bricklayer, anything. I don't know, because I've again, all my eggs have always been in one basket, completely focused on boxing. I suppose I've been lucky that I've been able to pursue a career in a sport that I love.
And what about after boxing? What would you want to do with your time?
See, hopefully I've earned enough money that I don't have to do a lot. And I can chill out.
There's got to be like a hobby of some sort, you know what I mean? You can go crazy.
I don't have any hobbies. I a bit of a boring lifestyle, if I'm being honest. I box and I go home and I chill out. I like to be with my family and kids. I like the thought of going on a holiday whenever I want and just doing whatever I want. I don't know. I suppose a wee bit of TV work might be good. I've done a little bit before.
Commentary,
Yeah. But
maybe movies one day. Hey, guest starring roles.
Nah. That's a bit ahead of me. But I don't know. Hopefully I'll not have to do too much.
All right, Carl. Well, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations. I look forward to seeing what is next for you. Any final words for the fight fans?
No, just stay tuned. That there's plenty left in the tank.
All right, thanks. Bye, fight fans. Hey, fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so by clicking this icon right here, or else